This video is a guided Yin Pranayama practice. A lot of people that practice yoga are familiar with the Ujjayi breath, which is sometimes described as the victorious breath, and is really effective when we are practicing vinyasa or a fast flow, because it's actually quite stimulating and it helps to keep us focused and centered, especially when the practice is very challenging and a bit demanding on the body. But there is another way to practice the Ujjayi breath that is much more subtle and very effective at taking you into a deep, quiet place. So in this video, I'm going to be guiding you through different stages of how we get into the yin version of the Ujjayi breath. So to start, just get really comfortable. You might be sitting on the floor, you might be sitting on a meditation cushion, you're welcome to sit in a chair. A seated position is ideal for this, but if you need to lean back against a wall or a cupboard so that your back is supported, please make sure that you do what you need to do for your body. And once you're settled, we're just going to start by bringing one hand up onto the chest and one hand up onto the belly, but above your belly button, so in that front archway of your rib cage. And just placing the hands on the body in a way that you can soften the shoulders and let the elbows melt. Eyes could stay open, or you're welcome to close them down. This first part of the practice is an observation in where your breath moves once you shift from a natural breath to the Ujjayi breath. So just first take a moment to see how tightly you could be clenching your jaw here, how hard the muscles of your face and your mouth are working. And just see if it's possible to let some of that melt off, softening the mouth. And without making any special changes to the way that you're breathing, just allow your breath to move in and out of the nose. As that's happening, breath moving in and out of the nose, just notice how much action you're getting underneath the hand on your chest. As in, how much is the chest rising and falling here? And how much action are you getting under the hand that's resting on your belly as you breathe in and out? Just observing that. And now we're going to start introducing the Ujjayi breath. And so if you haven't practiced this before, we start to create a small change, a small little alignment within the throat. I like to describe it as if the front of the throat and the back of the throat are trying to lightly hug each other. So there'll be a sense that the pipe in which you breathe in and out of gets a little bit more narrow. And as you figure out how you do that in your body, continue to breathe in and out of the nose. Now, if you're quite familiar with this in a flow class, as you drop into this, you may hear quite a bit of a change to the sound. Some people describe it like the ocean, or holding your ear up against a seashell. So you do it the way that you know it best, if you're familiar with this. And if you're coming along with me for the first time, just drop in any way that the instructions have made sense, but you will probably hear a change in the sound of your breath. You might also notice that there's a bit of sensation traveling up and down the back of the throat as you breathe in and out. So just continuing to let that get established, the feeling in the throat, the breath coming and going, and then check out the action under your hand on the chest again. Has that changed at all? And what about the hand on your belly? Has the action moving under that hand changed at all either? In my body, what I'm noticing is that the chest is now pretty still. And the Ujjayi breath is making the breath move further down the body. So it's mostly the hand at the belly that's moving forward and then back in as I breathe. So essentially, what that's telling me is that the Ujjayi breath really moves the breath deeper into the belly, which has been shown to soothe the nervous system. Now, you are welcome to keep the hands where they are, or you might prefer to shift them down to a more restful position. So you do whatever feels more comfortable for you. And we're going to continue with the Ujjayi breath exactly as you've been doing it for about another minute or so. And now we're going to shift the Ujjayi breath into a yin version. So continuing to breathe the same way that you are now, but see if you can drop the effort of that feeling in the throat down to about 10%. So the breath might still be long, the breath might still be deep, but the sound component will likely fall away or fall down to a really small sound, becoming more subtle. And you might still feel that sensation of breath traveling up and down the back of the throat, but now it might have just trickled to a small silvery thread. Yin Pranayama. And we're going to drop into this part for a little bit now. very slowly letting go of all effort in the throat, releasing that feeling of the Ujjayi breath alignment in the throat. Just begin to let your breath move in and out of you in a natural way. The next time you're getting ready to breathe in, take that breath in slow and deep, filling up your body. And if you want to, you can open the mouth as you breathe out. You might like to do that a couple of times. And then ever so gently allowing the eyes to open. How do you feel after that? Any time that I introduce that into a yoga class at the end of the practice, I find that majority of the people in the room prefer to stay in meditation and keep doing the Yin Pranayama rather than coming down to Shavasana. So that tells me that it's actually a very soothing and restful practice. If you found that helpful, please feel free to start incorporating that into your own practices. It might be a lovely way for you to slip into your meditation. It might even be a really great way for you to help soothe and settle the mind when you're trying to fall asleep. Thank you for joining me for this pranayama practice. I hope that this has been useful.